you're going to start and stop right above. See how there are two stripes of pink? It was orange and the pink started right here. I went around twice and then it stopped here. Next I have this gradient. The gradient has 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. I started the gradient here and it ended straight up. Worked 1/4 of the way around with color A. Now I'm going to switch. So I'm just going to trim the end and pick up color B, and I'm going to work it till I'm halfway around. Now I've gone 1/4 of the way with color A and 1/4 of the way with color B. I'm going to cut and switch back to color A. I've made my first loop of coral and burgundy. I want to make blocks of these colors. I want a block of coral here, and then I'm going to have a block of burgundy here. So every time you come around, when you come to the next row, you've got to switch. So I'm going to switch to coral now, and the coral will go to here. Then I'll switch to burgundy again. Burgundy will go to here. Then I'll come around again. Every time I'm above this coral, I'll switch to coral. So I'll have a block of coral. Every time I'm above the burgundy, I'll switch to burgundy. So it'll end up being a block in quarters. My pattern is even and I'm ready to build the sides of my basket. It's very easy to build the side. It's the same technique. The only thing that changes is the placement of your cord. So instead of being sideways, just place the cord on top. And when you wrap the two together, your needle now is going to come vertically. See? So just go ahead, and if you want a straight wall, your needle will come perfectly vertical. That's for a straight up wall. The first loop I do around, I go 4 and 2. So because I want it to be really stable at the turn and I don't want it to fall back down. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then again, my cord's right on top. See? Not next to anymore. Up. And my needle is going vertically. once, twice. That's all there is to it to start building your wall. Okay, it's all about the direction of the needle. If I want this wall straight, my needle is going to be straight up. If you want a diagonal wall, then when you sew the two together, when you wrap two together, your needle is going to go at a 45-degree angle. You can build it at a 45, and then you can start wrapping them straight, and then you can start wrapping it in. You can build any shape you want of your basket. It's all about wrapping the two together and placing the foundation cord where you want it. If you run out of cord, or you just decide you want to make your basket bigger, or you're using up smaller pieces of cord you have left, here's how you can add more. Cut your end to a 45-degree angle. Cut your new piece at an angle as well. Overlap the two and pinch them very tightly. So here's what you're gonna do. Sorry, it's gonna wiggle. I can't hold it stable. Just go over the two together. One, pulling tightly so you reduce the diameter to the size of the cord you're using. This is 1/4 inch coil. See how I went 1, 2, 3 over? Now I'm going to go back. 1, pulling to reduce the diameter. 2, 3. Now I'm back at the beginning. I have my new long cord, and I can just wrap normally. You'll never know you added. There's more than one way to change colors, and particularly for a detailed pattern, this is a nice technique. You don't have to cut and add every time, so that's great. If you can, it's nice to have needles for every color you're working with. If you don't, you switch the needle. With this pattern, you can see I'm about to repeat. I need to pick up the burgundy. I'm out of burgundy. I need to add it. All the other colors are still here, and I didn't cut them off. They stay here. Here's what you do. I'm going to grab all the colors you're not using. They're long cords. And hold them all, and you wrap over all the colors you're not using. I'm adding burgundy here. And I'm gonna do my thing. It's, the same technique as before. 8 and 2, 6 and 2, whatever you're doing. And I'm gonna wrap my two together here. This one will take a few minutes for me to show you. 1, 2. Now I'm going to point out again, I'm wrapping over all the colors I'm not using. They're long lengths of yarn that are just waiting for their turn. Okay, it's time for, this is what I'm copying, it's time for the orange spot in the middle. So I'm putting back the burgundy and I'm pulling forward. You pull forward the color you want to work with. So time for orange spot. Pumpkin. 1. I'm just putting 4. This, of course, applies to any pattern. I'm just showing you how to do multiple colors without cutting every time. Okay, that's all I want for the pumpkin. So I'm going to put it back. And I'm going to pull forward the burgundy because I want to finish that segment. Everything else is back. Right. I'm grabbing them and I'm wrapping over them. I need to do it 2 together. You got to pay attention to that. And yes, I did not do 2 together for these spots. They're just little spots in the middle. With the burgundy, it's time. Okay, done with burgundy. Now, I finished this right. Now I want to pick up the next part of the pattern. It's a mixed blend. So the mixed blend comes forward because I don't want to cover up the pink spot that's under it. Etc., etc. When you end your basket, you don't want to just cut it off. You want your end to go down. You want it to taper. And you cover the last inch of your basket, wrapping 2 together the entire way. Now that I'm ready to end my basket, I'm going to cut this end at a 45-degree angle. I'm going to wrap 2 together, the coil I'm on to the coil right under it, for the entire last inch of my basket. I pull it very tight because I want it to be secure and I don't want it to pull out later. So I'm going to take my time because I have 2 together right here. Just going to wrap it once above it. Now I'll continue. When you get to the very end, tuck your needle back under, pull it through, cut off the extra. Ta-da! Done.